Oh hey, I'm just here playing the bass line to come together, and I am glad that you are here as well. Today we're going to talk about this really awesome Paul McCartney groove, the Beatles, love it, really great. And I know that there are a lot of lessons floating around on the internet about this tune, so I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that this particular lesson can shed some insight on it. If you want to get tab notation, anything like that, please head over to my Patreon page. I really can't tell you how much I appreciate your support there. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about this groove so that we can understand a little bit of the theory behind it, as well as some of the technique to help you play it your best. Now, this song we're going to be in the key of D, and we're kind of starting over a D minor chord, and the reason why that is important is because the bass line itself plays to the notes of a D minor chord. We're going to be starting here on the 5th fret of our A string. We're going to get the D there. And with a bass line like this, we're not using a ton of notes, but we do want to have our targets in mind because we're jumping registers. We're not playing in 4-fret span land. We're going to be doing some movement and some slides. So we want to really be able to target our destination point. So I'm going to find my D here, and then the octave of my D up here. And so we can get that octave here on the 12th fret of our D string. And that's going to kind of take us between the two registers of the instrument. Now, the other important thing to know is the other note that really makes this bass line sing, and that is an F. It's going to be right here. We're going to get this F on the 10th fret of our G string. You can see, oh, here's your G on the 12th fret. F is a whole step lower, and the F is actually our minor third. So when we're playing this part, we realize, like, oh, if we started here, here's our D, here's our F, it's a minor third. We're actually going to find that just an octave higher. So instead of this D to F, we can find that same exact shape, that same relationship up here at the 12th fret. And so those are kind of our target points. Now, the cool thing about this bass line is the articulation and the technique that we use of sliding up to this particular register. So as we do that, what you'll see is that I'm particularly targeting this new place in the fretboard where I'm playing 2 attacks on the original D. I'm sliding up to about the 10th fret. If you listen to isolated bass tracks of this tune, you'll hear that, we don't have a very defined landing point. Some people might play this bass line a little differently. Some guys go, they slide into the D here. That's a cool way to do it. Some people will slide into the A. There are different ways. There's a little bit of playfulness that you can have. But again, if you take a listen to some of the isolated parts, you'll hear we kind of slide up, and then there's a little bit of an ambiguous landing point around the 10th fret, which makes sense because then we go to hit the 10th fret of our G string to hit the F. Now, as we do that slide, there are two things that people kind of get caught up with slides. One, they use too much force, so you really don't need a lot of force as you're making that slide happen. And then two, sometimes people will play too many notes. So in this situation, we really just want to play our 2 attacks. We want to use the force of our finger to slide up the string, and we're not attacking another note on our A string. The next attack that we make with our right hand is going to be this higher F. So some people will try to slide and then kind of attack the destination point with the slide. That's not what we're doing here. That's going to kind of add an additional note to our bass line that we don't want. So be sure that you're letting the slide do its own work, and that you play 2 attacks with the right hand here, and then this is the next note that you hit from this hand. So that's the real basic part about it. This bass line, again, is not crazy difficult. It's like, yeah, we're playing in D minor, roots, we're playing the higher third, we're playing this octave here, and we're sliding down there to return to this register, and then we're nailing that slide, that articulation there. Now, to move this around, you know, we go from an A chord, D chord to an A chord. So we can kind of take this same method and just move it to our lower string. So we can kind of start here on this A. We can grab the high C, the minor third of our A chord, and then we can get the A here on the 12th fret. And if you listen again to the isolated bass, you might not hear the slide there. Sometimes Paul might go just like that without the slide. So I would try it both ways and see what works best for you. And then we're going to go ultimately and land down on a G. Really great. It's the 4th, if we're in the key of D, we're going and landing there. And those are the basic notes within our verse. Now the chorus is going to be super easy. We're really just going B, A, G, A, and we're playing eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, rest. And then we're back into our slide part for the verse. So that is the gist of this bass line. There's a little bit of other fun stuff that happens at the end of the recording, but if you can do this, you can play this tune. So I hope you dug this lesson. Please head over to my Patreon page to get tab and notation and other fun things for all the lessons on this channel. And happy practicing, everybody. Keep it groovy.